Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 5 was interesting, to say the least, and I actually ended up enjoying it. Even though it did feel like an episode desperately trying to justify the existence of its show, let me explain what I mean by that. One of my worries about the show was that it would kind of nullify the drama between Obi-Wan and Vader. As bad as Revenge of the Sith is, the idea of having Obi-Wan and Anakin have the battle at Mustafar with Obi-Wan being the master, and then all those years later them meeting up again and having the roles reversed. I mean, that is a cool idea. And weirdly retconning them meeting in between those 2 points actually has a potential of diminishing that. However, I actually think that this episode reframes that dichotomy in a pretty interesting way. See, the way I've always looked at it is that in the Battle of Mustafar, Obi-Wan was just the better fighter still. And then in A New Hope, he comes in and he's a crusty old man, and then that's why Vader is now the master. In the flashbacks, we see that Anakin was probably the more powerful Jedi, but it's his anger and his need to win that kind of drove him to not only lose in their training, but also lose in that battle on Mustafar. Also, can I just say that I super appreciate them not de-aging Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor. I know people love the de-aged Luke in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, but I don't think the technology is there. I think Luke looked like an emotionless automaton, so I will gladly take crusty old Hayden Christensen, but just real Hayden Christensen, an actor's performance over a weird emotionless mannequin. That's just me. But anyways, in this prequel that's a sequel to the prequel trilogy, we see the same thing play out. Obi-Wan beats Vader and Reva by exploiting that weakness, thus establishing that at this point in time, he's still the master. And honestly, thinking back to this episode when I watch A New Hope is going to be a lot more narratively satisfying than thinking back to Obi-Wan having the high ground or whatever. And yeah, I'm predicting that Vader won't be in the last episode of Obi-Wan. The last episode is going to be Reva attempting to kill Luke and Obi-Wan finally confronting her. And I'm totally okay with that. They clearly established in episode 2 that Obi-Wan is no match for Vader. A big fight where Obi-Wan beats him just wasn't going to happen. With what they've set up in the show, it just would have been way too unrealistic. And yeah, I'm also predicting that people are going to be mad. But hey, I could be wrong. Maybe we do see Obi-Wan magically get his mojo back and fight Vader, but I just kind of doubt it. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, this episode is far from perfect. I mean, I still continue to think that the production value on the show is kind of poor. I mean, I've kind of accepted that from these Disney Plus shows. Like, they are what they are, and they're going to look how they're going to look, but it still is a complaint. But also, some of this stuff is just not as executed as well as I think it could and should be. Like, the stormtroopers missing in this episode, like last episode, not as bad as last episode, but like last episode, is just kind of ridiculous. Like, you had a bunch of rebels in a barrel and you couldn't shoot them. Like, really is this what's happening here? That being said, I definitely do think there were some cool moments. I mean, Vader bringing down the ship with the Force was awesome, and I also did like his fight with Reva where he's just toying with her. Honestly, a lot like his fight with Obi-Wan. And at least they're kind of making it consistent that Vader just lets people go. I mean, no, that still is dumb. That Vader would let Obi-Wan go in episode 2. But then he's still, like, diligently looking for him. I don't understand it. Like, is he going to get mad at one of the other Inquisitors because they can't find Reva, even though he had her and he could have killed her? I don't understand it, but, you know, it is what it is. It's bad writing. But yeah, I mean, I think the show's biggest weakness is its handling of its side characters. I actually liked Leia in, like, the first 3 episodes, but in episodes 4 and 5, it feels like they just couldn't think of a good way to fit her into the story. And yeah, I just can't find myself being able to care about, like, Lana and Ice Cube's son and Kumail Nanjiani and Reva also. Like they're just not very strong characters. I think a lot of the actors are doing a decent job. Like I enjoy the actress who plays Lana, but I couldn't care her when she died. I still don't. I think the actress who's playing Reva, I mean, she's not getting as much to do in these past two episodes, so I guess she was better, but that's not a strong thing. It's not a big compliment when I like you more because I see less of you. Like that's you know. But yeah, overall, the Obi-Wan and Vader stuff and why I do genuinely think that stuff is really good, it makes me enjoy the episode. It honestly makes the show for me. What it does for Vader and Obi-Wan solidifies it as an important piece of Star Wars history, and in my opinion is going to make Vader and Obi-Wan's reunion in A New Hope have more weight. Also, yeah, by the way, just so you know the context of within which I'm watching this series, I've been doing like a chronological Star Wars rewatch, not even rewatch, but watch through, because you know, honestly, I feel like 6 or 7 years ago I watched the prequel trilogy and then the original trilogy, and I was like, this is fine, but I was well past the age, I feel like, where Star Wars would have had like a really big impact on me. So, by the way, I should mention, I'm saying all of this. Like, these are all my opinions as someone who's not just a big Star Wars fan. Like, I don't care about the series all that much. So, like, yeah, I hate the prequels, but it's not my entire personality. I think the original trilogy is fine, but it's not my entire personality. I think the sequel trilogy is super messy and just not well thought out. Not my entire personality. I don't care all that much. Those are just my opinions. But anyways, I just want to say that also. But also, yeah. So I had watched the first two prequel movies. Then I binge watched all of the Clone Wars, which it made me hate Star Wars, kind of. But I do know at least that's the biggest commitment that I had to make, because I think all the other shows are only like 1 or 2 seasons. So thank you for that, Lucasfilm. I don't know. I don't know why you thought you had the right to make the Clone Wars as long as it was, but yeah. So I'm watching Obi-Wan fresh off of the original trilogy, and I enjoy it for what it is. Is it perfect? No. But compared to the prequel trilogy, I may as well be watching Breaking Bad. And that's one of the things that I guess I just disagree, or I don't understand from a lot of people out there. I'm like, I walked into the show as like, oh yeah, they got the guy from the bad prequels movies to be Obi-Wan again. Okay, I guess I'll check it out. Yeah, like my opinions are that the prequels are bad, so I find it super confusing that people were like walking into this show expecting it to be this amazing thing of like, oh, it is Ewan McGregor's return as Obi-Wan Kenobi. What a prestigious thing! What an incredible occurrence! And they're disappointed that the show is just kind of decent, and it's not like the best thing that's ever been made. I don't know. I don't know why anybody would have walked into this expecting that, considering that this is material that's working from the prequels. Like, I don't know. I find that strange. So there's obviously a lot of discontent with the show. But I think it's fine. I'm fine with it. I'm not mad at it. I think it's decent a lot of the times, and a lot of the times it's not very good. But I think it's doing what it needed to do, which was tell a good Obi-Wan and Vader story. So I don't know, man. Whatever. What do you think about it? Do you like the show? Do you hate the show? Do you hate me for not hating the show? Do you hate me for kind of liking the show? Let me know in the comments down below. I feel like this might be my most controversial Star Wars or Obi-Wan episode yet, because I said things about the other Star Wars movies that people might not vibe with, but it is just my opinion. That's all I could do. Not that anybody's watching these videos anyways. I don't know why. I don't even know why I feel like I need to make these disclaimers. But it's one of those things where it's like, what if this is the video that pops off? Like, what if this is the video that a bunch of people just randomly click on, and then they hate me because I don't hate a show, or because I don't love a show, or because I just think a show is like decent. It sucks, but it could happen. So, anyways, let me know what you thought about the comments below, because who cares what I think? I want to hear what you think. And also subscribe, like the video, ring the bell to be notified whenever I upload, and goodbye.